the world again, and understand the concept of their own existence.
Okay, so do you think that if a person could live a totally healthy life, but they'd have to be on bypass their whole life, that's a person that can't support themselves without being hooked up a machine, and they can't live without the support of a machine, should that person be allowed to be killed?
What did you say?
If a person can't support themselves with their body, like say they have kidney failure and they need to be on dialysis forever, should that person be killable since they can't live without the support of a machine?
No, I think the difference is that when somebody is brain dead, it's that their entire bodily system, including their brain, no longer has. It's like none of it's functioning.
Sure.
Right? And
so to be clear, real quick, that's not even remotely close to being true. I can't believe that you don't know that. That's a little shocking to me.
I'm reading it off of the NHS website right now.
Okay, a person's body can be kept alive for quite a while, despite the fact that they might be like comatose, right?
So I'm reading this off of the NHS website, and it is saying, a person who is brain dead is legally confirmed as dead because they have no chance of recovery, and their body is unable to survive without artificial life support. Like their entire body cannot survive without artificial life support. That's
because they can't. That's because they can't eat or drink. you need those things to survive, right?
I don't really understand how this is related to abortion.
Why do you have to? Well, you're so obsessed with relating it to abortion. I'm just trying to figure out when you think somebody's dead.
I'm obsessed with relating things to abortion because I was under the impression that that's what we're talking about, and that's what I'm interested in talking about.
Okay.
That's
Abortion
what I do.
and
I
when
talk about abortion.
That's great. Abortion and when life starts are some of the most difficult questions to answer philosophically. Almost anything.
Philosophically, sure, but like scientifically, not really.
Scientifically,
and when someone's dead and when someone's alive are also different things.
Yeah. So science doesn't answer any of these questions. These are questions of moral philosophy. As science
answers when someone is alive. Yes, science answers when an organism has begun its life.
Science can point to.
Science might not be able to answer the value.
Science
might not be able to answer the value of that person or that organism to us, but science can tell you when someone is alive. That is true.
Science can point to like metabolic activity. Okay, the idea of like what does it mean to be alive or dead? These are normative claims that come way before any scientific process. Science is not going to give us the answer to abortion ever. It can inform us based on our values, but it can't tell us when is a person or when is a person alive or dead. So
sure, personhood is philosophical, but like human life is not a philosophical concept. It's
of course it is.
One.
No, it's super philosophical.
Okay.
If I chop your arm off and I put it on a desk, that's not a human life, is it?
Because it's taking a part of an organism and removing it from.
Sure, I know, but it's human. Yeah, it's human. It's got DNA. Might even have a little bit of metabolic activity while the blood's still there. But I'm just saying that like this idea of like what is a human person, what is a life, drawing the difference between like some humans and others, and blah blah blah. Like these are all like kind of philosophical things, right? Which is fine.
The concept of what a whole organism is 100% a scientific.
It's not.
Concept.
It's not. It's
yeah. The concept of what an entire organism is versus a part of an organism is completely scientific. So yes, it is.
Okay. When you get to college, take something called philosophy of science. Okay, it'll open your eyes to the world around you. All right.
I am in college, and I promise you that I understand the difference between philosophy and biology, and it's a pretty easy answer.
It's absolutely. It is probably one of the most. It is absolutely not an easy answer. Things like ontology have huge ramifications in the field of science, and it is absolutely questions that are not going to be answered by looking under a microscope or running a particular test.
You think we can't answer why someone's arm is not a whole person easily?
Scientifically,
I think I can answer that pretty fucking easily.
You can do it. No.
Scientifically.
Okay. All right, I understand and recognize that is your position. That's fine. My question is, so going back, so if you've got a person in a coma and you know they're not going to wake up again, but their body can be kept alive indefinitely on machines, why is it okay to pull the plug?
I'm against euthanasia, so.
So you would keep comatose people that are never going to wake up, you'd keep their bodies alive indefinitely until the body runs out of time.
Depends what you mean by, I just don't understand, like, what...
When you keep saying, what does that have to do with abortion? Yeah, it's because you realize that, like, you're on faulty ground now.
It's not because I realize that I'm wrong. It's because you're trying to exhaust me with running in circles on these, like, understand, like, when
you keep saying, what...
euthanasia is an issue related to abortion, but it's
We're not even at euthanasia right now.
I mean, yeah, we're getting into that territory, and
Nope, not even close.
I just don't understand why wouldn't you just talk to me about abortion? Like, why? What are you?
Do you think that if you're going to put yourself in the position of telling other people how to live their lives, and you're going to celebrate the overturning of protective legislation in the United States for people that are trying to have a medical procedure, don't you think that you owe it? Don't you think that you owe it? Don't you think that you owe it to them and yourself to understand these arguments a little bit better than what you write on your signs?
I don't think that killing a baby is the same thing as cutting someone's arm off. I don't know.
That's great. The emotional appeals and the bad logic are fine, but for you to sit here and be like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, when you're literally tweeting out celebrating the overturning of Roe v. Wade, it seems to me like you would probably do to, if this is what you do, if you do abortion debates, you should probably know these arguments, right?
You're not even talking to me about abortion, dude. Like, what are you going on about?
Trying to figure out when something is dead could be instructed to figuring out when it's alive.
Like, what are you on about, dude? Like,
do you want to let me finish a sentence? The brain is shut down. So this is like the defender mode, because abortion is like a part of her life. She is incapable of like having the conversation. That's where we're at right now.
All you've been doing this whole time is condescending based off of like a position that you have no you have no bearing to condescend from.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. This whole time you've been like, how old are you? You don't know what you're talking about. I'm surprised you don't know this. Like, dude.
I'm surprised you thought that a brain dead person means the whole body shuts down.
And you won't even talk to me about
You're the
abortion.
one that told me to message you. Hold on. I'm sorry. You told me, you said on Twitter.
Or hospitalizing pregnant women. Let's just talk about abortion.
You told me on Twitter to DM you, okay? So I DM'd you.
I did not tell you on Twitter to DM you. I said that if you wanted to have a conversation with me, that you could DM me.
Okay. Well, so I can only talk about abortion. So give me the.
What I'm interested in talking about. Like,
give me the rail. Well, what you want to do is you want to preach. So okay, so give me the rails for where you want this conversation to go. Go for it.
I don't want to preach to you. I want to know what you want to talk to me about.
I already told you. I think that conscious experiences are what are worth protecting. When we talk about what a person is, when we talk about pain and suffering, when we talk about people that ought to be protected, that are alive and not dead, we're usually talking about people that are having subjective conscious experiences. Those are the things that we care about more than anything else.
Okay, Destiny. So.
Why'd I get downgraded from Steven?
Fine, whatever. I know. It's so much more fun to call you Steven. Like, I don't like using these dumb little pseudonyms that we make up for ourselves. Like, you have a real name. Because I want to also, like, remind ourselves that you are an adult man. So, if we want to talk about.
Wait, what does that have to do with it? Wait, are you like up descending to me if I'm condescending to you? What was that? What do you mean, reminded that I'm an adult male? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I also get to condescend to you now when you're at the point of condescending to me. You're not going to treat me like I'm a f***ing idiot. I've been doing this for a long time. Like, this is what I do.
You're 19. Right? I don't think you've been doing anything for a long time, but go ahead.
I have, yeah.
Okay.
I know that having this job is not as impressive as being a 30-year-old streamer, but I
34.
take what I can get.
That's okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry, 34.
You're fine, don't worry.
Would it be okay, do you think, to kill somebody who is in a coma that we know they'll wake up in 9 months? Do you think that's okay?
Nope.
Why is that not okay?
Because there was a prior conscious experience that probably asserted its rights and its liberties and its desire to stay alive, and just because that experience temporarily abates doesn't mean that you would end it or prevent it from coming back.
Oh shit, it's almost like even if you don't have that experience at a certain point in time, if you are going to have that experience and you have the capacity for it, then I don't know, maybe we should be protecting that person, and that is still a human life, even though they're not actively consciously experiencing something. That's crazy. Can we talk about abortion as a concept now?
Sure. So I didn't say because they're going to have an experience. I said that because they've already had one. There's something to speak about. If I go to sleep, that's not really being unconscious, but if I get like not amnesia, general anesthesia. If I get general anesthesia and I'm like unconscious for a while, there was still somebody called Steven to speak of. I had an experience. I asserted some belief. My ability to redeploy that belief is there. It's coming back. There's a difference between that versus somebody that's never even existed yet, right? Both parts, the prior and the after to that unconscious thing, are equally important. If you're missing one, then you don't have the same thing.
I mean, fetuses exist, like, regardless of whether or not
a fetus exists, but I'm not talking about protecting a fetus. I'm talking about protecting a conscious experience.
Well, okay, so we're not talking about protecting people. We're not talking about protecting human life. We're talking about protecting this subjective concept of conscious experience that you've come up with.
Yep. Well, that's what we do medically as well, right? That's why we don't say bodily death is when a person dies. We say brain death. It's a cessation of that conscious experience. That's what a persistent vegetative state is. You sit there like a vegetable, and your body can even have some functions that happen as long as it's being fed, but the brain is gone and you're never coming back awake.
So by subjective conscious experience, like, are you just talking about memories? Are you talking about like what,
I think memories are a part of it, some consistency of your mind, some self-identity. I'm sure there's like a lot. I don't know all the different underpinnings of like all the different parts that make us conscious, just that there's some wholly conscious emergent experience that happens when some structures in the brain are communicating with each other.
like again, newborn babies don't have anything like that.
Anything like that? You don't think they have any degree of consciousness whatsoever?
I mean, they're awake, but they're not like.
Okay, they're awake.
Newborn babies
Good enough for
don't
me.
have a personality. Newborn babies don't have.
Newborn babies have huge
memories.
personalities. Some of them cry, some of them don't.
That's a reaction to stimuli. Like they don't have. I don't know why this is funny to you. This is objective. Like they don't have memories. They don't have a personality. Like they don't. Newborn babies don't have any of those things. Not in any way that's any different from a 19-week baby in the womb. Like they don't.
I think it's significantly different from a 19-week baby, but I mean, they might have. It might not be as developed as a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old, right? Yeah. What? Why would you protect a one-celled organism? Just curious. The fetus.
Fetuses are not single-celled.
Well,
You're
but
talking about
you
like
would
a
hold on.
zygote?
You would protect it. Yeah, you would protect it as a single cell, as a zygote. You would protect that. So I'm just curious why.
Because life begins at conception.
Yeah, but well, that's kind of circular, right? Come on, Aioli, give me a better one than that. Why? Why does life begin at conception?
Can you stop being like really disrespectful about the pronunciation of my name? My name is Ayala. It's incredibly easy to pronounce.
I don't think I can
I'll try to do
pronounce
better.
that.
I'm sorry.
Like, it's just really weird. Like, I don't know why you're attempting to put me down and degrade me by mispronouncing my name consistently as if it is funny.
Well, I'm having a little bit of fun because I genuinely think you're a disgusting human being. But you're only 19, so I let you get a little bit of a pass on it.
Like, what's funny about mispronouncing my name? Because it's Hebrew, because you don't understand it? Like, it's not hard to say.
Right now, it's just because it's triggering the fuck out of you, to be honest. But
well, it's because it's just so weird. Like, this whole time, you're just trying to exhaust me with all of these like different tangents, and you're trying to put me down consistently and calling me a disgusting person. If I'm so disgusting, why are you talking to me?
I like talking to pro-lifers, and you seem to express an interest to talk to me over Twitter, so I was curious if you had an argument that I hadn't heard yet. And maybe right now, maybe I'm planting the seeds, and you know, that
I just realized Destiny's actually live.
Special Counsel Jack Smith
GG
filed
boys.